How can we teach ChatGPT new information, new knowledge, since we know that after 2021, it has a very limited knowledge amount? So very easy, before ChatGPT 4 comes out, you can ask it and it tells you, well, fine-tuning is done, pre-training is done, so there's no way you can provide me further information. But you know, ChatGPT is cheating here a little bit. So let's have a look how we can teach ChatGPT new information. Last week I showed you here a crash course on AI prompts. Here's the YouTube video, and we discussed very shortly that there is now a paradigm shift from our pre-training like a bird model and then the fine-tuning for each specific downstream task with another dataset. We have now the option with those huge LLMs of pre-training, prompt, and predict. And from prompting, I showed you there are minimum 20 methods available. So what we are then discussed very shortly, fine-tuning, or the alternative is prefix tuning, where you have only a small amount of parameter with prefix tuning that you really train on. And as I told you, if we want to learn how we can do this, this was the example I've given you. You have a source sequence and you have a target sequence. And with the source sequence, we have question, then we have some context to the question, and an answer to the question. It consists of sentences. In the target sequence, we wanted to predict the answer, give him here our answer here, to the question, give him here the question here, give him the context, the overall context, and I told you this is, for example, a chapter in your biotechnology book is yes. So this is, for example, how Microsoft trained BioGPT. And we are going to focus today on a very simple source sequence, just question and answer. And if you want to see the research paper for this, here from January 2023, from AI 21 Labs, there's a beautiful research paper. It's about in-context retrieval-augmented language model or large language model. And they come up with a new alternative and they call it in-context retrieval-augmented language model. What it is, they have an LLM and they add some outside information, so for example, from the internet, some up-to-date information, and they discuss the mechanism how they can do this. In particular, they leave the pre-trained language model without any modification or even without an API access, and this is exactly what we're gonna do. We leave our ChatGPT as it is, and we will apply this in-context retrieval-augmented language modeling methodology. January 2023. You can have different architectures. They work with an off-the-shelf frozen bird retriever. I do it manually. You can do whatever augmentation or whatever architecture you would like to. Just want to show you how easy it is. So they give you here the framework for in-context RALM. They show you here the auto-regressive model. This is whatever you know. And then they add some documents from an external corpus. And the external corpus is simply the information I copied personally from the internet and I provide to them. And I just want to show you how easy it is. Look, this is here where they say this is an example of in-context RALM. We simply prepend the retrieve document. So this here is a sentence that you retrieved from the internet. So you can do it automatically from your browser, from an AI system, or you just type it in like I did. And then we simply prepend the retrieve document before the input prefix. Then you have your prefix. The World Cup 2022 was the last with 32 teams before the increase 2. And this is now the open word. And as you can see, with the retrieved evidence, now prepended before the prefix, and you feed this in the language model. The language model is able to give you an answer that before the increase to 48 in the 2026 tournaments. So here we go now with our free ChatGPT, and you see I have exactly here this structure of my prompt. Let's have a look at this. Oh yes, just a second, gives me an answer. What I want to show you, the prompt design. So here you see I have a question and I have an answer. And this question is simply what new information about quantum error correction is available. This is a question ChatGPT will know, but it will not know the answer, because the answer I have taken here, as you can see, from Google here from February 2022, 2023. This is an article about the latest development in quantum corrections. And what I'm particularly looking for, I'm looking for a clear event. And here we have it. Here we have a logical qubit that were made from 49 physical qubit was able to outperform one that we made from 17 qubit. So we have very clearly two integer numbers that we can now ask the system for. And this is exactly what I do. I provide it with the information in here. Now, as you can see, some few short learning. Yes, we will have further question. And then I just ask my question. And you see ChatGPT answers. Yes, beautiful. In the research mentioned in the previous answer, Google's quantum AI demonstrated a logical qubit made from 49 physical qubits. Important to note that the number may change, continue to develop, and improve quantum computing correction technology. So we achieved our goal, our 49 physical qubits. We learned this to the ChatGPT without having access to the sandbox or to an API where you have to pay for this. This is now a very simple and efficient model. And this is just one piece of information. You can go on and more and more and more. So you can ask in a different way and it still gives you the correct information. As you can see here, it is the particular research has 49 instead of the formerly known 17 qubits. So this information is now part of it. Now, as we are scientists, researcher, we do another experiment. And here I take something from February 8. And I'm looking here for some unique information. And here we have it. Lens is now used more than 10 billion times per month. This is an information about 2023. So you can imagine what we do now. I just exchange here the block of new information. We have the same prompt engineering, the same prompt design. And this is the way we go. So here we have now the answer, and we just have to modify the question a little bit. The question was, what new information about Google Lens is available? Yes, this is what I inserted in information. This is the retrieved document, if you want, from the internet. And now we can learn ChatGPT here. Lens is now used 10 million times. And the answer by ChatGPT, as you can see, is now 10 billion times per month. So you see, this is the method. If you have external knowledge, if you write it or you absorb it from the internet with your web browser, this is how you can integrate new knowledge into ChatGPT without fine-tuning it, which is very expensive. So just to be clear, in the free ChatGPT version, this works only as long as you have your session. If you want to save all this new information that you provided through in-context learning, you have to have or buy from OpenAI an API. So you have your model that you then can, it's not fine-tuning, it is tuned with in-context learning for new data. And this is the beauty. So you can experience this on the free ChatGPT version. And when you feel comfortable, you go and you take a license from the new ChatGPT 4 or whatever comes up. And then you know that your knowledge that you insert in the system is available. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it a little bit. See you in my next video.